Hi, I'm Kathy Carrico, Treasurer and Acting Secretary for the Washington County Heartland Youth Coalition and the RISE Youth Group. I'm here today at the Washington County High School with members of students from the high school and the middle school who are members of our Heartland Youth Coalition and RISE Youth Group. Today, these students are going to participate in our annual Tie One On event. These students will be tying red ribbons on all the antennas in the school parking lot. If you are fortunate enough to have one of these ribbons, please display it proudly. Our mission is to educate the public of the dangers of driving while under the influence, even if it is only one drink. And also letting everyone know that we have an active social host ordinance program in Washington County in which you can and we will be held responsible for allowing underage people to drink. We have several guests with us today that would like to speak to you about the dangers of underage drinking and driving. First up is Hannah Edlin. Hannah is a student at the high school now, and she's very active in our coalition. She has a very strong message she would like to present. Hannah?
Thank you. This is a generation that is being molded into leaders, and leaders that one day are going to be our providers and our caretakers and also our decision makers. As a community, we need to step up to the plate and strike out our defaults. Underage drinking has become a growing epidemic, and the only way to really eradicate this glitch is if everyone works for everyone's best interest. So, I'm a high school student, and everything is not as easy as it looks. There is peer pressure every corner you turn. But if you inform your daughter or your son and encourage them to break free from the chains of peer pressure, this community can grow, and we can put away all this underage drinking. This community will prosper. This community will mold leaders for today, for tomorrow, and for the future. It's time to stand up and make a change. We have to discourage underage drinking and put a stop to this. This is my friend Candace Kimball. She has a very great message that she's going to share with us. It's about her little sister that she had, and it's very touching, and she's a very strong girl to get up here and share this with us, and we're very proud to have her here with us today.
Thank you. Like she said, my name is Candace Kimball. I'm a 2013 graduate from Washington County High School, and also I'm a former member of the FCCLA chapter here. Hannah invited me here today to share my testimony about drinking and driving and how it has affected me. Miranda Faye Standiford was the half-sister that I never met. On May 1st, 1993, Miranda, her father Tim, and her grandmother Edith were traveling to return a rented video when they were hit head-on by a drunk driver who had taken the wrong road home after leaving the Kentucky Derby. Tim and Edith died on the scene while Miranda was airlifted to the hospital. Miranda died in the hospital before my mother even knew about the crash. Miranda was only 3 years old. Because of one person's decision to drink and drive, my mother's entire family at the time was taken away from her. This tragedy deeply wounded my mother in ways that I can't even imagine. I hear it in her voice when she talks about them or watches an old video with them in it. In many ways, the crash also shaped how I was raised. My family never watched the Kentucky Derby, and we never travel on that day. My mother also worries a lot. When I was little, there were only a select few people with whom I would spend the night. Even now that I'm 19 years old, I call my mom every single time I get into a car, tell her where I'm going, and even text her or call her when I arrive there. Even for the 5-minute drive from Lindsey Wilson College to Walmart. Some of these things might sound ridiculous, and I even had a friend one time said, "Shouldn't she be over it by now?" But I think that's exactly my point. She's not over it, and she may never get over it. Like with my mother, drunk driving can scar someone for life in much more than a physical sense. The sad thing is, it's not like I'm up here sharing some new phenomenal insight about drunk driving. Everyone already knows that it's dangerous, so why do people keep doing it? I've come to the conclusion that though educating others about the effects of drunk driving is extremely important and influential in preventing drunk driving, the real issue is a heart problem. In order to reduce the number of drunk drivers, we'll have to change how someone feels about the issue, not just what they know about it. When someone deeply values his or her own life and the lives of others, they won't want to risk those lives by driving drunk. In a news report that I watched about Miranda, Tim, and Edith's crash, the drunk driver that killed them was only concerned about the new car that he crashed. Not Miranda, Tim, nor Edith. Not even his friend who was in the passenger seat of his car. I think this clearly shows how his priorities weren't straight, and possibly still aren't. What if someone had taken the time to show him the value of life, the value of others? Could the whole situation have been prevented? Could Miranda have made it to her 4th birthday, to her graduation, to her wedding day? I really think this could have been it could have been that way, but it wasn't, because no one changed how that person felt about drunk driving. To reduce the number of people who choose the risky and dangerous decision to drink and drive, we need to invest in our community by instilling into it the value of life. And I firmly believe that if we can do this, we will prevent the atrocities like the one that my mother endured. And our community will be a much better place because of it.
Thank you, Candace. Normally at this time, we would have Police Chief Jim Smith here, and he would speak to us. He was called away on an emergency, but at this time, we would like to take this opportunity to thank the Chief and all the officers on behalf of the Washington County Heartland Youth Coalition, the RISE Youth Group, and all the people of Springfield and Washington County for the wonderful job they do of protecting each and every one of us, not just at the holiday time, but all during the year. And I would also like to introduce someone else who is here with us today and is a very strong helper with our coalition is Tara Smith, and she is with Communicare. Back in the back there, she's hiding. Okay, at this time, this concludes the inside part of our program. The students will now be making their way to the parking lot to tie these red ribbons on the antennas of all the cars. Please display yours proudly. As you all know, this is a very exciting and busy time of the year. Everyone is running around trying to finish those last-minute things before Christmas arrives. We would like to ask that everyone please take the time to slow down on the roadways and don't drink or drive. And we would all like to say from us to you, Merry Christmas.